Star Wars is known for some legendary games throughout the years. With games from the early 2000s like KOTOR, Battlefront, and Republic Commando, among others, there is no shortage of Star Wars games that hit the spot. However, looking back, you don't hear much praise about Star Wars games on the PlayStation 1, unless it's Dark Forces and maybe Jedi Power Battles. There's a famously bad game for the PlayStation 1, Masters of Terras Kaze, a Star Wars fighting game that sounded much better on paper. However, the game has been ripped a new one by so many people that I'm going to skip over on that one. Instead, there's a game that got fairly decent reviews that I think is just as awful. Enter Star Wars Demolition, a game made by Luxon Flux, which was the company that made Vigilante 8. Basically, the other popular car combat game besides Twisted Metal. Now, I've never played Vigilante 8, and the reviews say Star Wars Demolition is like a better version, but I just can't see it. I remember playing Demolition as a kid and enjoying it. Now I have no idea what I saw in the game. It's horrible. It takes what made car combat games great and rams it into the ground. The concept of Demolition is simple. You take famous Star Wars vehicles like AT-STs, AAT, Droid Staff, Boba Fett, Darth Maul, a Rancor, and make them blow each other up. Sounds great, right? Well, it should have been. Instead, what we got was Twisted Metal slowed down. One review said, the more you play it, the more you see the imbalances. This is very true, except I see this right away. You have these crates around the map where you can blow them up and get a single extra weapon in addition to your basic weapon. This could be like a missile launcher, a thermal detonator, or maybe a tractor beam. You can only have one at a time, so if you equip the new one, you lose the old one. This leads to me using certain weapons with certain characters, like thermal detonators with Boba Fett. The problem here is I feel like when you find a weapon that works best with a vehicle's base weapon, you only use that weapon most of the time. There's also very few weapons to choose from to begin with. Now, a lot of reviews initially judged this game because of its Twisted Metal-ish format. Which is funny to me because the Star Wars formula for great games is to take games already made and paste Star Wars over it. Battlefront is Battlefield, KOTOR is D&D, those kinds of things. But I wish that Demolition was more like Twisted Metal pasted over it. I'd have loved that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's not. It takes what makes Twisted Metal great and shoots it out of an airlock. First, you get these shields along with your health, which makes it annoying as hell as you gotta bust down someone's shields to get to their health bars, which can make the fights longer than they really have to be. If you get low on shields, you have to go sit in a weird room that's in every level. This room gives you your shields back. Instead of having pickups around the map like in Twisted Metal, you have to sit there and wait or be a target for others as you try to get your shields back. The last thing I want to do is to be sitting there doing nothing in a game around about blowing each other up. It just slows the game down even more. You also have to do this if you run low on energy, which is used to power your weapons. Usually you run out after throwing it all to destroy a target. Now here's the other issue. Your weapons don't do anything unless you charge them up. There's a charge mechanic in this game that allows you to charge up your weapons for stronger attacks, and they change at full charge. One is unique to the character, the other one's based on the weapon you pick up. The problem is that it slows down your fighting as you just sit there and wait to charge your weapons up to attack the target. Now, you could just, shoot them without a charge, but watch when I do this. It does no damage whatsoever without a charge. And after charging your weapons a few times, it takes out a target. But you're out of energy and you have to go find a recharge station. And if you manage to waste all your energy before you take out the target, well, you better go recharge again. And don't worry, they'll have recharged their shields by then too. This is such an annoying mechanic. Twisted Metal, Road Trip, those games are fun because they're fast. You grab weapons and health on the fly. You're constantly blowing stuff up. No charging, no waiting for stuff to happen. This drags the fun out of it and takes the fast-paced vehicle combat away. Now, while the specials can be kind of cool at times, like Boba Fett's rocket or Darth Maul's saber, they can be really weak or really powerful. Boba Fett just stuns you forever, allowing you to grenade the enemy to death, while Darth Maul's saber is hard to hit anything with. The game also is lackluster with its story. It doesn't really make any sense. The pod racing was outlawed, so Jawa makes a tournament where people blow each other up. The game is set during the original trilogy, but has Darth Maul in it and some Jedi I've never even seen before. The ending cutscene can be kinda cool at times, but it's not really worth trudging through the awful gameplay for it. Honestly, I love car combat games, and I love Star Wars, but I hate this game. I don't even know how it got good reviews. The more you play it, the more frustrating it gets. The maps are small, the music is a remix of classic Star Wars music. Why do you need to remix John Williams' amazing music? It just sounds terrible. About the only cool thing in this game is a Rancor with freaking machine guns. And that's pretty metal. But other than that, I really wanted to like this game, but I just couldn't bring myself to love this pile of garbage. Once you learn how to play, you realize all you have to do is spam charge attacks and destroy the enemy in a few seconds, which is pretty boring. And if you don't play cheap like that, nothing ever dies, and that's boring too. Better to stick to TIE Fighter for your need to blow up your favorite Star Wars vehicles.